Action.
Action! Okay, Frank. I have a bit of a headache, so I'm just gonna be a little discursive tonight. The question is Bitcoin a currency? Or is it something that we can't even get our heads around because it's so advanced that humans have to grow into this concept? We've many times reviewed, and so have other great thinkers like Andreas, reviewed the notion that Bitcoin is three or four things at once. It's a protocol, it's a network, it's a currency, it's a technology, it's a software code. Dan Larimer is of the view that nominating Bitcoin to be a currency is misplaced because it's so much more. And as people try to understand currency and apply that understanding to Bitcoin, they lose the point. This is what Dan Larimer says. And so he went and created BitShares, which tries to analogize cryptocurrency, the BitShares cryptocurrency, more to shares in a company. A few words about currency, just random. Money, currency, is perhaps a technology itself that only shows up very late in human history. As we've said, we bartered for millennia. And coins were invented by the Lydians around 700 BC in the Mediterranean. Biologists might observe to us that there are animals in the animal kingdom that use currencies. They actually exchange currencies for things like sexual favors or status. Many anthropologists might agree that humans used currency all for hundreds of thousands of years, beads and trinkets and seashells. As long as it's scarce, portable, fungible, and divisible, it's basically starting to sound and smell like a currency. But it's possible that currency as we've kind of known it, coins and then fiat currency and then credit cards, is a very brief chapter in the human experience. Coins beginning in 700 BC, and perhaps fiat currency and credit cards starting to phase out as cryptocurrencies might displace them, perhaps. And if we indulge this theory for a moment, this possibility, it would go something like this. Consider the TV show Star Trek, which aired for 3 seasons in the late 60s. It was a very forward-looking, forward-thinking science fiction series about the human condition itself. They had these interesting little communicators, which we couldn't get our heads around, and suddenly cell phones showed up in the 90s, and things that were on Star Trek that we thought were science fiction were becoming a reality. Another interesting element in Star Trek is something that's missing, is there's no currency, there's no money. In Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future as he created Star Trek, humans are so advanced that they don't have money anymore. And it's possible that he's right, in the same way that he said we'd have these two-way communicators. He also predicts teleportation. Perhaps that's coming up as well. But it's possible that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and the blockchain underneath it is advancing us to a paradigm where perhaps there's exchange and perhaps there's wealth and so forth, and even storing value, but it's not through the perhaps anachronism of currency. And I'll leave you with that. A couple more things to think about. In prison, cigarettes are currency. Outside of prison, not so much, right? So it's a relative and contextual concept, but it's possible that currency shows up in a formal way in 700 BC and is phasing out now. Only a possibility. It doesn't matter if this is actually going to be the future or not. What matters is that we're provoked and we're curious and we're starting to think. And maybe one of you will be provoked by this idea, which may never happen, but will be provoked to give something that will happen. So, I got to go see Desmond. He knows all the secrets, but will never tell. Effusive, warm, infinite love to my wife, my bride, her golden hair, her sculpted body, her sagacity, her wisdom, her divinity. She teaches me everything. Callum von Moger, Frank McGrath, Marissa Rivera McGrath, Mark Yowitz, Box Mining, Ivan on Tech, Lark, Data Dash, all beautiful. Data Dash is beautiful. Jackson, Crypto Tips, Andreas Antonopoulos. I love you all. I gotta go. Currency.